Hi, my name is Will Wetzel, and I'm an instructor here at Huntsville Steamworks. I'll be teaching one of the Dungeons & Dragons summer camps here at Steamworks. One of the campaigns we'll be going through this summer is called The Mines of Madness, and it's based that there was an evil king that hid away the Forever Stone, which is a powerful stone, away in a mine, and you'll be able to explore the mine and interact with it, as well as learn a lot of skills along the way. By playing the game, you'll learn about cooperation and teamwork, and also by rolling dice and adding lots of numbers, you'll learn a lot about simple math, and so that makes it a lot of fun. So if you haven't played Dungeons & Dragons before, then here's just a little bit more information about D&D, as it's commonly called. So D&D is a game that's based on imagination, that you have one player that makes a campaign and designs a world, and then other players that involve themselves in that world and use their imaginations to interact with it and with each other. And to aid in that imagination, we use dice. So kind of the basic principle is that if you want to do something in this imaginary world, you roll a dice, and then dependent on what number that is, then you either succeed or you fail on whatever you're trying to do. So it might be, okay, I am going to try and open that chest and look for treasure inside. You roll a dice, and then you have a number, and you either succeed or fail. Now, with your character sheet, you'll have certain things you can either add or subtract to that number to make it fail. So say if I was looking for gold in a chest, I would roll, and then if I had a plus, maybe a +2 to investigation, I could add 2 to whatever I rolled to try and see if I found any gold in the chest. So with that, when you're designing your character sheet, you'll have different strengths and different weaknesses for your rolls. So today we're going to design a character, just a level 1 basic character, just to kind of see how things work and interact and how you start playing D&D. So things to keep in mind when you're making a character is that you'll have certain strengths and weaknesses, and that's okay. You can be weak at some things. Sometimes the best moments in a game are when you try and do something, but you fail at it, and it's very fun, and it teaches you to have grace in your failings as a person or as an imaginary character. So with that, we're going to just start building a character. With characters in D&D, there are 3 components that you need. You need a race, a class, and a background. For races, the most common races are your typical fantasy kind of races: dwarves, elves, halflings, humans, and there's a few others, but we'll just stick to those. So for today, we're just going to pick a dwarf. Dwarfs are sturdy and strong. They come from the mountains, and that's the class we'll be starting with today. So what you'll do is, either through tables online or from the player's handbook, you'll look under the dwarf, and whatever it says to add to your traits, you'll add that on your sheet. So for the dwarf, it says +2 to Constitution. Your size is about 3 foot tall. You have dark vision and a few other traits. So you just add those, write those down, and then move on to class. Your class in D&D is really your training and profession and how you'll interact with the game. So for classes, they can be broken down into 3 main categories. The first is no magic class. Now for that class, you have things like barbarians, fighters, and rogues, and they're classes that use just typical skills most of the time, like hitting things with swords or blocking things with shields. So those are the most basic, so we'll probably use one of those to explain it today. And then the second group are kind of half magic characters, and those are like bards, clerics, monks, paladins, rangers, and they use traditional skills, but then also have a little bit of magic element, so they can be really fun to play with that. And then we have characters like full magic characters like sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards, that they primarily use magic above all else. So today we're just going to choose a fighter and get started with that. So next is choosing our background. With backgrounds, really that is any information about where you came from and in the past. So with this character, we're going to choose the soldier, but there's a variety of backgrounds, and really your imagination is the limit. If you have an idea for your character, you can either use one of those backgrounds for your character, you can come up with your own background and ask the people that you're playing with if that works. So once you've chosen a background, you just follow the instructions on the page and write down everything in the book onto your character sheet. Once you have all this information written down and your character created, you'll be ready to face the Mines of Madness. If you're interested in more about Dungeons & Dragons, then maybe sign up for one of our camps this summer. We have multiple that run throughout the summer, and you can play a campaign like the Mines of Madness or one of our other offerings.